My husband's pregnant mistress slid a cream-colored invitation across the divorce mediator's table. The baby shower would be held in the same Chicago hotel ballroom where I had married him 9 years earlier, and the envelope was addressed to me. "You should come, Claire," Sloane said, resting one hand on the small curve beneath her silk dress. "It might help you accept what a real family resembles." The mediator stared at his legal pad. My husband, Evan, stared at the watch I had given him after his first promotion at Helixer Biotech. No one looked at me. I was 39, a corporate attorney, and very good at staying calm while someone tried to make cruelty sound reasonable. I set the invitation beside the proposed settlement. Evan wanted me out of our River North condo within 30 days. Sloane wanted the papers signed before her shower on Friday. Apparently, my marriage had become an item on her event checklist. "The condo is marital property," I said. "And she is not a party to this mediation." Sloane smiled. "I'm carrying his child. That makes me a party to his life." Evan finally lifted his eyes. "Can we please keep this civil?" I nearly laughed. Instead, I signed only the page confirming that I had received the proposal. Then I put the ridiculous invitation in my bag and walked into the cold March rain. For 9 years, I had believed Evan and I had built something durable. He managed regional partnerships for Helixer. I handled mergers and compliance at a Loop law firm. We had a glass-walled condo, 2 rescued greyhounds, and a calendar so carefully shared that I mistook coordination for intimacy. The first crack appeared on Wednesdays. Evan started coming home after midnight, blaming calls with the West Coast team. Then he began taking his phone into the shower. A sweet, unfamiliar perfume clung to his collars. When I asked about it, he kissed my forehead and told me I cross-examined people for a living. "Not everyone is hiding something, Claire." He was right. Not everyone was. He was. My college friend Naomi worked in Helixer's legal department. One night she texted that she had seen Evan at a rooftop restaurant with Sloane Avery, a 29-year-old brand strategist. Their chairs had been pressed together. His hand had rested on her knee. I knew Sloane. At the company holiday party, she had studied my tailored black dress and said, "You make 39 look so polished." At the time, I had mistaken poison for clumsiness. The following Wednesday, Evan claimed he had a strategy dinner in Seattle over video. I reached the restaurant before he did and sat behind a wooden partition. When they arrived, Sloane tucked herself under his arm. He brushed snow from her hair with the tenderness he had stopped offering me. I confronted him that night. "I saw you with Sloane." For 12 seconds, he tried denial. Then he sat on the edge of our bed and said the sentence cowards use when they want an affair to resemble weather. "It just happened." "No," I said. "It happened every time you chose to lie. And go back." He told me Sloane made him feel needed. He said my career had made me distant. I reminded him that my career had paid half the mortgage while his made him feel entitled to applause. 6 weeks later, we were in mediation, and Sloane was pregnant. Outside the building, someone called my name. Marcus Reed stood beneath the awning, rain shining on his coat. He had been Evan's college roommate, the best man at our wedding, and almost family to me. His face was gray. "Don't drive yet," he said. "There's something about Sloane's baby you need to know." I felt the invitation inside my bag, sharp enough to cut through the lining. Marcus swallowed. "The baby might be mine." We went to a narrow coffee shop around the corner. Marcus ordered an espresso and never touched it. He told me he had met Sloane at a healthcare conference in Denver 8 months earlier, before she and Evan were publicly involved. What began as a weekend affair had continued in hotel rooms whenever their travel overlapped. "When she started seeing Evan, she blocked me," he said. "Then she contacted me after the pregnancy test." He opened a folder on his phone. There was an ultrasound image and a message from Sloane. "Maybe this explains why I can't stop thinking about you." Another read, "Evan thinks the timing is perfect. Don't ruin this until I know what I need." The most disturbing message came 3 days before mediation. "I need Claire to sign before anyone asks for a test. Once the condo is sold, Evan can give me the security he promised." That was why Sloane had attended. It was why she had pushed the deadline. My humiliation was not merely entertainment, it was leverage. "Why are you telling me now?" I asked. Marcus rubbed both hands over his face. "Because I was afraid of losing Evan." Then I realized a child could lose the truth about her father because I was protecting a friendship he already destroyed. I did not comfort him. Marcus had betrayed his friend. Evan had betrayed me. Sloane had turned a pregnancy into a bargaining chip. There were no heroes at that table. But there could still be evidence. With Marcus's permission, I preserved the full message exports, audio files, travel receipts, and original metadata. I made him sign a short statement confirming how he obtained them. I did not hack an account or manufacture a dramatic screenshot. I built the same kind of clean record I would want in court. The next morning, I asked Evan to meet me alone in a quiet diner near his office. I placed a copy of the evidence between us. This isn't an attempt to save our marriage, I said. That is over. But you should request a prenatal paternity test before you sell property or sign anything for that child. Evan read the first messages and lost color. When he reached the line about the condo, his jaw began to tremble. Marcus is lying, he said. He always envied me. The hotel receipts aren't jealous. The audio isn't jealous. In one recording, Sloane laughed and called Evan her safe exit. He removed his glasses and pressed his fingers to his eyes. What do you want from me? Cancel Friday's spectacle. Ask for the test. Stop letting her use a baby to force a property deal. He closed the folder. If I cancel now, everyone at Helixer will know something is wrong. That answer told me he was still protecting his image before the truth. I stood to leave. Then everyone may learn exactly what's wrong. That evening, Evan came to the condo for the last of his suits. Our greyhound Ruby ran to him, then stopped when he did not kneel to greet her. He moved through the bedroom opening drawers as if he were checking out of a hotel. Sloane says the stress could hurt the baby, he said. If you sign tomorrow, we can all move forward. You read proof that she may be lying about the father, and your response is to repeat her deadline? He folded a shirt twice before answering. What if the baby is mine? What if I destroy my only chance to be a father because Marcus wants revenge? There it was, the fear beneath his vanity. Evan had never told me how badly he wanted a child. We had postponed the conversation through trials, promotions, and his constant promise that next year would be easier. Now Sloane had offered him an instant family, and he was clinging to it even when the foundation cracked. A test doesn't destroy fatherhood, I said. It protects it from fraud. On the dresser lay a Hawthorne Hotel estimate with Helixer's logo in the billing field. When I asked why his company appeared on a private event, he snatched the page away. Sloane got a preferred vendor rate. That's all. I let him take the paper. I had already seen enough to remember it. On Thursday night, Sloane texted me from Evan's phone. We understand if the shower is too painful for you. The message was designed to frame my absence as defeat and my presence as pathetic. I replied with one word, attending. The Hawthorne Hotel had changed its carpet since my wedding, but the ballroom still had the same arched windows and crystal lights. White roses covered the tables. A projection screen displayed Evan and Sloane, our next chapter. Helixer executives mingled with clients, friends, and several people from my firm. Sloane had disguised a baby shower as a corporate social event so the room would contain every audience she wanted. I wore a simple navy dress and carried no gift. Marcus waited in the lobby with the original phone and a flash drive. Before we entered, I gave Evan one last chance. End it privately, I said. You have 5 minutes. He looked toward Sloane, who was posing beside a tower of wrapped boxes. Not here. You chose here when you let her invite me. During the toast, Sloane thanked Helixer for teaching her that bold people create their own future. Then she looked directly at me. Some women build resumes, she said into the microphone. Some of us build families. A few guests stared at their glasses. Evan did nothing. I walked to the front of the room. You invited me to celebrate your honesty, I said. Let's be honest. Marcus stepped through the doors. Sloane's smile vanished before he spoke. I connected the flash drive to the event laptop with the technician's permission. The first audio file filled the ballroom. Evan thinks the baby fixed everything, Sloane's recorded voice said. I just need Claire to sign before the dates become a problem. No one moved. Marcus displayed the original conversation on his phone while the technician mirrored it on the screen. The ultrasound, the hotel confirmations, and Sloane's request that he stay quiet appeared one after another. It's edited, Sloane said. Claire is a lawyer. She can fake anything. I supplied the originals, Marcus said. His voice shook, but he did not step back. If this baby is mine, I will take responsibility. I am requesting a legal paternity test. Evan stared at him as though he had been struck. You? Yes. And I'm sorry. Sloane grabbed the microphone. He was a mistake. Evan is the father. Then a test will protect everyone, I said. That should have been the end of the confrontation. It was only the first turn. Anita Patel, Helixer's chief financial officer, rose from a table near the stage. She was holding her phone and looking at Sloane with a colder expression than anger. This Denver hotel charge is familiar, Anita said. It was submitted as a patient outreach strategy session. And tonight's ballroom was billed to our community partnership budget. Evan turned sharply. I paid for tonight. You paid a $4,000 deposit, Anita replied. The remaining $28,600 was routed through a vendor Sloane manages. My team questioned it this morning. Now I understand why the Invoice as Family Engagement Initiative. The room erupted in low voices. Sloane had not only used one man to secure another. She had used a corporate charity budget to finance the celebration meant to erase me. Evan approved it, she said. Anita looked at him. Did you? No. For the first time that night, Sloane stopped performing. Her face hardened. You all had security, she snapped. Claire had the marriage and the condo. Evan had the title and salary. Marcus could disappear. I was the only person who had to create something for myself. A child isn't security, I said. And theft isn't ambition. She picked up her purse and tried to leave. No one touched her. Anita simply told her not to access Helixer systems or remove company property pending a formal investigation. The authority in her voice did more than a public scene ever could. As guests emptied the ballroom, Evan approached me beneath the same crystal lights that had shone over our first dance. I should have believed you, he whispered. You should have respected me before belief became expensive. Maybe after this, we could talk. We had 9 years. You don't get to use our history as shelter because your replacement plan collapsed. He flinched. I felt no triumph, only the clean ache of a door closing correctly. The investigation lasted 5 weeks. Helixer fired Sloane for falsified invoices and misuse of funds. Evan kept his job but lost his promotion and transferred to Cleveland. Our divorce settlement divided the condo fairly because I had never signed away my interest. The paternity test confirmed that Marcus was the father. He did what he had promised, established legal paternity, paid support, and showed up for appointments. He and Sloane did not become a romantic ending. They became 2 adults required to put a little girl ahead of their shame. Evan sent me a long email asking forgiveness. I answered with 2 sentences, I hope you become more honest. I will not be present for the process. I sold my interest in the condo and bought a smaller brick house in Oak Park with morning light in the kitchen and a fenced yard for the greyhounds. I stopped checking another person's calendar to decide whether I was safe. I started taking Sunday walks without my phone. A year later, Naomi invited me to speak to young women at our law school. I did not talk about revenge. I talked about evidence, dignity, and the danger of confusing a shared address with a shared life. Someone asked whether I had forgiven Evan. Forgiveness doesn't always mean reopening the door, I said. Sometimes it means changing the lock without hating the person outside. The last time I saw him was at a coffee shop near the courthouse. He told me I looked different. No, I said. I finally resemble the woman I always was. Then I walked into the sunlight. My marriage had ended when Evan chose another woman, but my life began again when I refused to let their baby shower become the place where I surrendered it.